National Assembly begins 2 months break Thursday. President Muhammadu Buhari unveils new NNPC Limited, assures Nigerians of energy security. Svtv state government organizes special prayers towards ending banditry. And in business, Central Bank of Nigeria raises interest rates to 14% to check inflation. On international news, Biden appoints new U.S. ambassador to Nigeria. On sports news, Wiki wants experts to run sports in Nigeria. Hello there and thanks for joining us. That was the headlines for Standard Voice Television News. I am Rahma Ibrahim Dutara and here are the news info. The National Assembly will on Thursday proceed on its 2 months annual recess ahead of the last lap of the 9th Assembly. The Assembly had clocked 3 years on June 11, 2022, shortly before the lawmakers embarked on a 2-week salah break. At a resumption of plenary on Tuesday, Speaker of the Head of House of Representatives, Femi Bajabiamila, said the lawmakers would proceed on their annual break on Thursday. Meanwhile, the lawmakers suspended legislative activities till Wednesday in honor of a member of the House, Jude Ise Idehen, who died during the break. It is the tradition of the National Assembly that both the Senate and the House suspend sitting on the first legislative day after a member of either chambers die. President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday in Abuja officially unveiled the new Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited in line with the provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. Affirming that the company is mandated by law to ensure that the Nigerians' national energy security is guaranteed. The unveiling by the President at the State House in Abuja signals a new era of transparency, accountability, and energy security for the country. The unveiling event was attended by the Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPC Limited, Mr. Mele Kari, Chairman of the Board of NNPC, Madri Okadibo, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timi Silva, the Senate President Ahmed Lawan, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Bajabiamila, and other top officials in the public and private sectors of the Nigerian economy. The President of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Professor Emmanuel Osodike, on Tuesday slammed the federal government for failing to prioritize education in Nigeria, stating that the woes bedeviling the sector will not end until the ruling elite are forced to train their children in public schools. Mr. Osodike, while dismissing the 2-week ultimatum issued to ministers by the President to end the strike, stated that ASU had concluded negotiations with the government and was only waiting for the ministers to sign the agreement reached with the university lecturers. The ASU president, while decrying the brain drain in the education sector, noted that Nigeria is also losing its professionals in the medical line to other countries. Mr. Osodike assured that the lecturers were ready to return to the classroom as long as the government fulfills its parts of the bargain. The Trade Union Congress has again asked the federal government to stop the killings, abduction, and other violent crimes in the country. It's described as a waste of resources, the huge amounts of funds spent on the security sector. Speaking at its 12th Triennial National Delegates Conference in Abuja on Tuesday, the TUC President Quadri Olaleye admonished the government to name and shame sponsors of insecurity. Mr. Olaleye said that they have observed with concern the increasing incidents of banditry, kidnapping, and robbery in the country, adding that the air, rail, and road transport systems are no longer safe. About 2 weeks ago, Kuje prison in Abuja was attacked, and according to the Defense Ministry's account, 5 people were killed, 879 inmates escaped, 443 were recaptured, while 64 Boko Haram terrorists escaped. He said it is obvious that millions of naira invested in national security is a waste of resources. The Congress argued that there is nowhere in the world where secondary education is run as a profit-making venture, insisting that its members would use every available means to resist the attempts of mortgaging secondary school education. The Zamfara State Commissioner for Religious Affairs, Dr. Tukur Sani Jangebe, disclosed that the state is among the states of the Federation that has been engulfed by political, economic and social instabilities that turned it back to square one. The Commissioner made the statement during a special prayer session organized by the ministry in order to overcome the issue of insecurity in the state. Dr. Jangebe said the calamities have become the stumbling blocks towards the developments of the state and the country in general. According to him, the state in which farming is its pride but now seems to become thing of the past, as well as commercial activities, is being paralyzed and incapacitated, adding that social activities were paralyzed too. He therefore called for frequent prayers for peace and stability to prevail in the state and the country at large from the ulamas and other well-wishers of the state and the nation entirely. Zamfara State Governor Dr. Bello Muhammad Matawallah Maradun has erected traditional institutions in the state to seek approval from the state government before awarding and conferring traditional titles to individuals. This was contained in a statement signed by Honorable Zailani Baffa, Special Advisor to the Governor on Public Enlightenment, Media and Communications. The statement added that all emirs, senior district heads and district heads in the state are hereby directed to officially seek permission from the state government before conferring traditional titles to anyone. The directive becomes necessary in order to check indiscriminate award and possible abuse of the traditional institution. The governor warned that compliance to this directive is now mandatory and failure to it will attract serious reprimand from the state government. This directive comes after a traditional title was controversially bestowed last week by the Endoto Emirate, a development that did not go down well with majority of people within and outside from the state. Terrorists on Tuesday afternoon killed 6 people and injured 6 others during an attack on Ruwan Godia, Faskari local government area of Katsina State. The spokesman for the State Police Command, Gambo Isa, confirmed the incident. Residents said the terrorists stormed the town around 1:30 p.m. and started shooting indiscriminately. According to the residents who spoke on the condition of anonymity, the terrorists were in the town to rustle domestic animals. It was further learned that those killed and injured were hit by the terrorist bullets during the sporadic shooting. The terrorists were also said to have succeeded in rustling some domestic animals. Kano State government has revealed that it has recorded 5 deaths due to the cholera cases in the state and very strong preventive measures have been taken to tackle the outbreak. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Aminu Ibrahim Zanyawa, announced this on Tuesday in the state. Newsman reported that Dr. Zanyawa said that on the 16th April 2022, a case of watery diarrhea and vomiting suspected to be due to cholera was reported in Ambata local government area of the state, which was promptly investigated. The Commissioner also thanked the State Governor, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, for his commitment to providing adequate and qualitative healthcare services to the good people of the state in order to eliminate cholera outbreak and other diseases in the state. And in business updates, the Central Bank of Nigeria has raised the monetary policy rate from 13% to 14%. CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele announced this on Tuesday during the 286th meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee held in Lagos. According to him, it was the right option considering economic realities. Mr. Emefiele said the committee resolved that the most rational policy option would be to further strengthen its tightening stance in order to effectively curtail the unabated raising trend of inflation. The monetary policy rate is the main interest rate in a country or economy on which all other interest rates in that economy are based. While the Apex Bank increased the monetary policy rate, it, however, retained other parameters. And on international news, President Joe Biden has nominated Richard Mills Jr. as a United States ambassador to Nigeria. This was announced in a statement by White House. The statement said Richard Mills Jr. is to serve among his key leaders in his administration. Mills Jr. currently serves as the U.S. Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations and a career member of the Senior Foreign Service with the rank of Minister Counselor. Prior to his nomination, Mills served as the U.S. Ambassador to Armenia and was also Deputy Chief of Mission and then charged the Affairs AI at the U.S. Mission to Canada. The new nominee has also served as Deputy Chief of Mission at the U.S. Embassy in Beirut, Lebanon, and as Deputy Chief of Mission and charged the Affairs AI at U.S. Embassy Valletta, Malta. And on sports news, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has called on the federal government to remove political consideration in sports and allow experts to run the sector professionally, adding that the country will not attain its potential if politics continue to interfere with sports. The governor, according to a statement signed by his special assistant media, Kelvin Ebiri, spoke at the Adokiye Amisimaka Stadium, where he watched one of the Nigerian Professional Football League final matches of the season as Rivers United beats Gombe United 1-0 to be crowned champions of 2021/22 season. The governor said the random selection of persons to satisfy quota system had not been of any help in identifying the best sporting talents in the country. He urged that sports should not be confined to the political arena, reiterating that people who have the talents and capacity should be allowed to develop sports in Nigeria on board. And that's all we have for today's news, but before we go, let's take a look at the major headlines. National Assembly begins 2-month break Thursday. President Muhammadu Buhari unveils new NNPC Limited, assures Nigerians of energy security. Svtv state government organizes special prayers towards ending banditry. And in business, Central Bank of Nigeria raises interest rates to 14% to check inflation. On international news, Biden appoints new U.S. ambassador to Nigeria. On sports news, Wiki wants experts to run sports in Nigeria. On behalf of the production team, Head of News and Current Affairs, I am Rahma Ibrahim Bisa, saying bye for now and keep watching Standard Voice Television.